Welcome back to Hill's Kitchen. I'm taking a slight break from the series just because this was just really heavy on my heart, and I was like, I'm gonna just do what I need to do. So today's episode is about pizza and performativity / performative Christianity. So I pray this video is not an hour. I'm gonna try to be as concise as I can, but there's a lot to say and I gotta unload the clip. I'm not even making the pizza from scratch because I don't even have time for that. But right, it's I don't even know what this brand is, but it's so good. Private selection, yes. But this is the best veggie flavor in my opinion. So we about to pop this in and then get into the tea. My oven cooks very fast, so I only really put it on like 9 minutes. Sometimes more if it doesn't seem done, but sometimes less. You can't be too careful. Let's get into it. Okay, so I was inspired to film this because of somebody's live I was watching from like a month and a half ago, and you know them talking about like kingdom marriage. If you don't know what that is, that's okay. Right, and the moment they started saying like, oh, you need to be more serious about God than whatever promise he's given you, people started clicking off. Like, so I was watching the video, you know, like a month and a half later, but she's like, wow, all these people are leaving. She's like, I'm not surprised. And Jackie O, a celebrity in pop culture, she's from Wild Now. She just recently died due to like BBL complications. I mean, that's what we're led to believe. We don't know for a fact. And people are coming at certain people in her circle for profiting off their grief and doing certain things in the public eye that seem insincere. And so that was the second thing. And the third thing that made me say that was kind of just reflecting on like my own walk and like how it's evolved over time. And I think the fourth thing, the icing on the cake, I was like, oh no, this needs to happen, was watching the Basement episode with Dante Bowe formerly from Maverick City, and so the gospel group. And so watching all of these things and kind of like sitting with certain things made me realize, oh no, that actually is a very real issue in the body. This like need to judge others and like, I don't know, looking for like truth and like purity in other people, places, and things, and being upset when we don't get that. And so I was like, oh, how can I articulate this? And I was like, it really comes down to being performative. We struggle with performativity as a culture and as a society so much. And I think it's because performativity is the opposite of sincerity and authenticity. Like if something is a core value to you, no matter what, you're gonna be down for it till, you know what I mean, the cows come home. Like you don't care if people like it, don't like it, love it, don't love it. Like you with it, and whatever that means, you're willing to stand on it, act on it, and be about it. That's just not compatible with capitalism. That's not gonna work with racism and homophobia and all these other things. And even just the Taylor Swift, Maddie Healy thing. Like the moment it's convenient to switch up or to like not be engaged, a lot of us will take the out. Like, let's just go there. It's coming down to like, oh, who are you really? Like, who are you when nobody's looking? And I feel like these moments and these interviews and just different things happening in pop culture are kind of revealing that, hey, like, we don't really know these people. Like, we think we do. We think they share certain values with us because of the music they put out or certain things they've said in interviews or whatever, but we don't actually know them. We're just seeing a specific side of them based off sound bites, based off of different releases and moments in time. Even as much as we want to judge, that can be said about all of us. Nobody really knows us. We are a certain kind of person at our workplace versus around our friends and family versus out in the world versus out on social media. Ideally, yeah, you're the same person and you're consistent in all those atmospheres, all those circles, but realistically, we do slip and slide. And this is why I say it's also about performative Christianity, because I've come to realize we take that slipping and sliding to God when he's always consistent, he's always the same. And then we want to be mad that we haven't seen certain things in our lives come to pass, or why is God ignoring me? Why isn't this changing yet? Why is it this way and all this sort of stuff? And it's just like, okay, but what is your heart posture? Like, what are you really in it for? Let me run and get my Bible because there's a verse I want to read, two actually, and I don't want to misquote it. There's a verse I can't find, but I'll figure it out. Wait, let me make sure this is done. I mean, technically, I'm going to give it like one more minute. Okay, but anyway, pray for me so that I don't burn this place down. But yeah, so I want to read Proverbs 29:25. The fear of others lays a snare, but one who trusts in the Lord is secure. Obviously, I got to read Galatians 1:10. No, I'm here. Yeah, Galatians 1:10, which is, am I now seeking human approval or God's approval, or am I trying to please people? If I were still pleasing people, I would not be a servant of Christ. And then last but not least, we're going to take it to Joshua. Joshua 24. Yes. Now, if you are unwilling to serve the Lord, choose this day whom you will serve, whether the gods your ancestors served in the region beyond the river, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you are living. But as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. Let me pull this pizza out. Okay, it's a little golden because I let it rot a little too long. But anyway, now why would I read those verses? Because that's 3 separate places where the Bible's basically saying, hey, you can get caught up in everything else, but it's not going to end well. And what does that have to do with performativity? Because if you think about it, performativity really just comes down to doing things to please others, but you not actually holding that value or belief sincerely behind closed doors. It makes sense how, you know what I mean, you could be out living in the world doing the most to have a certain kind of career, but behind closed doors you're actually unhappy. How you could make it seem like you're allied towards certain communities or certain races and demographics, but then you let a lot of things that are microaggressions or whatever slide, and you don't confront people. Call yourself a child of God, but there's a lot of things you don't actually care about. Like, you don't submit your finances to God, you don't submit your love life. And I think if we're going there, performativity is a sin. It really is rooted in like pride and control and people pleasing. You're doing it to be seen, you're doing it to get people to clap for you, and that's not what God is for. Like Galatians talks about, like, am I doing this for God's approval, or am I doing this for man's approval? Because I shouldn't even, if I'm doing it for man's approval, I ain't even really Christian. You know what? Let me give a practical example so that the girls really get it. Yes, okay, example of, oh, I'm doing this for God versus man. Oh, now I'm in trouble, but I'm just gonna say it. A perfect example is all the Christians who are striving, you know, to find a spouse and to like be married oh so quickly, and like, I don't just feel like, oh, that's the most important thing to me, and caring more about that than the person they are and who God wants them to be. Like, they are far more caught up in, oh, I gotta have a man, or I need to get a wife. And it's having tunnel vision on it, right? And I'm saying that's performative Christianity. Why? Because throughout my 20s and my singleness, I've known a lot of Christians who legit will make it seem like they're into certain things or have certain spiritual habits to get close to a guy or to get close to a girl, which is so manipulative and so messy. I've known people who are like, go to church to get a girl, or will like, I don't make it seem like they're really in their word or make it seem like they really care about, you know, service and, you know, the community or whatever, because that's what the guy is into. And it's just like, that's wrong. God knows your heart, just so we're clear. And second of all, it's like, what's done in the dark will come to light. Like, what makes you think you're going to be able to like convince this person of things about you that you don't actually believe in, and that they're not going to figure it out before long? Especially if they talk to God, which God gonna tell on you. I don't know if people know that, but God is gonna tell on you. So you could think, oh, I'm pulling the wool over somebody's eyes because they don't know that I'm not actually into that, or oh, my job don't know about my past. And it's like, somebody gonna find out. It's not even worth you trying to hide it and slip and slide. It's gonna cause problems. That's performativity at its best. That again, you don't even want to be seen or get into relationship or communion based off who you really are. The goal is, okay, how do I finesse? How do I portray a certain personality, a certain lifestyle to get people to like me? And that's going to get me into certain rooms. That's going to get me into certain places and dreams and promises or whatever. And newsflash, that's not going to work. It may get you there, but it can't keep you there. It's phony. Y'all be dragging my homie Holden from The Catcher in the Rye, but it's the truth. JD Salinger spilled. Like, nobody likes a phony, and nobody really wants to admit that they a phony, but we kind of all have those moments, and some people more than others. Like, that's their whole brand, that's their whole lifestyle, is, oh, I'm gonna curate this world and I'm gonna get y'all to fall in love with it, and I'm gonna perform that on social media, in my little professional life, and even in my personal life. And then when I come home and nobody sees, I could just take the wig off. People really think, oh, if I put on a good song and dance, I'm good. I'll never get caught holding the bag. And that's not true, because performativity is just that. It's a performance. So whether you're performing for God, performing for your friends, performing for your family, whatever, at some point, the mask is going to crack. it's gonna come off. It's just not worth it. Like, if that's something you find yourself doing, honestly, A, repent, and B, really get in touch with who you are and be that person. Legit show up as them. Stop being afraid of, oh, are people gonna not like it? Or, oh, well, now these people aren't gonna be friends with me, and oh, what if they break up with me? Who cares? Just live with 8 billion people on the planet. Why are you so caught up in like preserving this particular image or like version of yourself to get all these other people to like you or to like stay in your life? That's not even you. So it's like they're not even here for you. But then you don't understand why you feel alone or feel hollow or feel incomplete or like dissatisfied with certain things. How is that even something God could bless? Because this ain't even you. You want him to bless your relationship, but you didn't even ask him if that's who you should be with. You want him to bless your career, but that ain't even what he has for you. You trying to figure out why it's not coming together in the city when you're not even where you're supposed to be. It's a process, you know, being able to discern, oh, is this for me, is it not? But I think with performativity and being a performative Christian, I think it comes down to being more caught up in the delusion and the fantasy than God. And what bothers me is some people try to act like faith and delusion are one and the same, and that's not true. Faith is Hebrews 11:1. Let's go. Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. And people try to act like, oh, I can just name it and claim it. I can just decide that's my husband. I can decide that's my career. I can decide that's it. And then be like, well, why hasn't God done it? Why hasn't he blessed me? It's like, because you decided that. Like, it's not, that's performative. That you gonna try to like live out a calling that's not yours. Live out a marriage that's not meant to be. Live out a purpose that you pulled out of thin air and that God didn't tell you. Literally every promise I've ever gotten from God, he found me. Like, I was not looking for it. I was not begging God, where's my husband or who is my husband? He just told it to me. I wasn't begging to be in law. He just revealed that that was my calling. I wasn't begging to get certain promises related to, you know, moving abroad or whatever. He just told me. So it's like, that's from earnestly seeking and actually like having like a halfway decent heart posture where God can trust you with certain revelations regarding your story. I don't have to perform. I don't have to pretend. This is not make-believe. These callings, these stories, these miracles, they were fashioned for me. They were handmade. They were tailored. And I say that because that's true for whoever's watching this. Like, whatever story God has written for you, it's already settled. And it's just a matter of you being in alignment with it and actually having like a real relationship with him to the point where he can reveal these things to you. You don't have to search for a spouse. You don't have to search for a calling. You don't have to search for purpose. You don't have to search for happiness. All these things will find you. Very much Matthew 6:33. All these things will be added unto you if you seek first the kingdom and his righteousness. And hot take, you don't even have to be perfect about it, because there were seasons where I was far from God and he still was dropping revelation on me. That don't mean I was supposed to stay far from God, but I'm just saying, like, don't think, oh, I can't, God only speaks to me, you know what I mean, if I'm at church every week and I'm giving thousands of dollars and all sorts of stuff. No, God sure did speak to me about very important things regarding my future when I was 19 and was a freshman at Carnegie Mellon in Stever House on the 3rd floor, you know what I mean, and nobody's around. There were no fancy lights, there was no altar call, there was no dramatic reveal, like, it just happened. Child, I forgot all about the pizza. I'm just saying, you can even be performing at that level, that, oh, I can only get close to God or get certain revelations, certain promises if I, you know, have my ducks in a row. Like, if I'm at church this much, if I give that much, if I, you know, only have Christian friends, and if I only read the word, and if I worship X hours a day. Like, nah, it's about your heart posture. It's about like the sincerity and the earnestness of your pursuit. If that doesn't matter to you, okay, but then don't be surprised. Don't be surprised that it goes off the rails. You feel hollow. You don't really feel like you have true peace. Things don't really seem to last, and you going around the same mountains, going around the same circles, same BS, you know, same old mistakes by Tame Impala, but more importantly, Rihanna. Like, it's like, if you gon' do the same thing, you're gonna get the same results. That's just facts. Hot take, anybody who's listening to this who's not a believer, you should actually halfway try God and do it for real. You know what I mean? Not what you think you know, what you've come to like perceive from other people. Like, you know what, God, if you're real, do X, Y, and Z. I promise you, gonna see some stuff shake. And if you're a lukewarm Christian, I challenge you to be like, you know what? Let me get about it. Let me stop pretending. Let me really read my Bible. Let me stop assuming stuff. Let me not just catch a cute word off Instagram or YouTube or TikTok. And if you are a serious Christian, but you feel like, oh, I've become too rigid and strict about it, just step away from it all. Stop going to church. Stop trying to like have the routine of it all, and just be like, literally, God, speak to me. Get off social media. Don't even fool with nobody, and just get in your word and just be like, God, what you gotta say. Do that for a good week, I promise you gonna hear some stuff. Fast, you gonna hear some stuff. Get up off social media, yeah, you gonna see some movement. What does it look like that he only hear from you when you want something? If he only know you when you need something or you in a crisis, maybe you don't actually know him. And hot take, maybe you're not gonna get a well done, my good and faithful servant at the end of your life. So, I gotta heat this up because now it's cold. But you know what? Some things needed to be said. And I'm like, I'd rather that. And then I'm done. I just want to say, somebody needs to hear this, whether you're watching it today or weeks from now or years from now, that the performance isn't worth it. It can't fulfill you. It's not gonna make you happy. It's not gonna like be enough to sustain you. Your soul can't bear that weight forever. Faking it for the career, faking it for your family, faking it for your friends, faking it for a paycheck. Like, you just can't, faking it to keep a man, keep a woman. Like, your spirit is not meant to do that, because like Matthew says, you know, my burden is easy and my yoke is light. You know, it's like, that's just not the life you were meant to live, to always be striving, stressing, toiling, going around like, oh, still going through breakups, still going through poverty, still like, no, you were meant to come higher. And like I was telling a friend months ago, I think we were meant to be radically saved, and we were also meant to be radically blessed. And that in between is our relationship with God. It's like, it's not for you to just, you know what I mean, get your little blessing and you go sit down. Like, no, it's all supposed to be, you know, added unto you because the foundation is right. And I think performativity skips past the foundation. It's like, oh, I'm just doing this because she's doing it. I'm just doing it because he likes it. And, well, you know, that's how I can keep a man, or that's how I'm going to be able to get far in this career, is if I do these things. And it's like, yeah, that's all hollow. It's here today, gone tomorrow. So I just say all that to say, performance is not worth your time, because it can take you places, but it can't keep you there. You're going to have to be on that hamster wheel forever in order to keep it. And I just don't think anything in this life is worth that. Worth this perpetual hamster wheel that will ultimately kill you. Chasing beauty standards, chasing men, chasing women, chasing success, chasing fame. It'll never end. That's how the wheel works. Like, once you start running, once you really start going, baby, that's all you're doing is running to stay a part of it. Because if you stop running, yeah, you gonna fall flat on your face and it's gonna hurt. But guess what? Once you stop running, you can actually be free. You're never going to be free if all you do is just keep the hamster wheel going. That's not God's best. It's for you to spend your limited life, the few years you get on this earth, because 70 ain't that much. 40 definitely not that much. Like, spend your limited time on earth striving after stuff that has no value in the grand scheme of things. But we think it's going to give us something. So we think, oh, faking my values, faking my beliefs, faking my walk with God, or just like how I move in the world, is going to do something. I mean, it will do something, but it's not going to do what you think it's going to do. Like, it's not going to age well. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'm sorry that this is kind of long, but I hope it blessed somebody. And please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I've had this pizza before, but I'm absolutely going to try it because I'm starving, and you know what I mean? It's the gag. It's what y'all came to see. Like, I'm not going to lead you astray. Like, I'm not going to make something that I'm not going to like. So, very bad. I hope y'all enjoy. Sorry that I've been gone. I'm really working hard to pass these things to him and to, like, be on top of other things going on in my life. But this too shall pass. And also whatever's going on in your life, that too shall pass. So, anyway, don't be out here stressing yourself out performing. Be who God called you to be. Stand in who you are. Stand in your values. Own that. People come and go. Jobs come and go. Opportunities come and go. But this is the only life you got. So that's all I have to say. And I will hopefully see y'all next week. Yes, like, we're going to speak life to it. So anyway, bye.